Hi everybody, this is Rose of Sharon and I'm back again with another musical review. Huzzah! Yes, I've finally seen Dear Evan Hansen. I had been talking about this quite a bit, and at long last I have gotten the privilege of seeing it firsthand performed in Cincinnati, Ohio at Aronoff Center for the Arts. And it did not disappoint at all. The way that the theater is actually set up is really something of a modern marvel. And the musical itself is very much a modern day musical, just due to the fact that it uses social media as the crux or the center point. And I think that's what makes it so important. And it's a musical that everybody can relate to because it's, first of all, it's a big commentary on how disconnected society is, even though we're more connected than ever through our technology. And it's very counterintuitive, I feel, especially myself feeling like I should have grown up in another era entirely. But I like technology, don't get me wrong, but they're just certain things in this modern era where I feel like I'm completely just out of the loop and like I don't fit in. But Evan Hansen actually discusses the whole theme of loneliness and not feeling like you belong, and wondering, when am I ever going to amount to anything? Is my voice ever going to be heard? It deals with suicide, which is a very dark subject, depression, of course, and it handles anxiety. And I don't know, I'm not certain if Evan himself had some kind of autism, maybe Asperger's, just because he repeats himself a lot. And I don't even know if I'm on that spectrum myself because I've never been tested. I know I'm not autistic because I can look people in the eyes. People often think that I am. I'm not autistic. I have the feeling that I might have Asperger's, but I don't know. Never been tested, so even if I am, it's not going to change anything. When I learned I was bipolar, I thought, oh, that's interesting. So they were misdiagnosing me all those years. Then I had to laugh about it, but it's really not that big of a deal, honestly. It doesn't really affect my everyday life, and I can handle it. But I don't even take any medication for it because I don't need it. But there's something to be said about medication itself. I'm just going to tackle that right now. It for a lot of people, it does its job and it works very well. And for some of us, we have to find the right kind of medication. But then there is another group of us that don't need it at all. So all of those things are completely fine. Just talk to somebody about it, sit down with them, have a tete-a-tete with them. But it's your body, so be comfortable with the decisions that you're making because you only get one. But anyways, I want to discuss the musical. Just the way that Aronoff is set up in and of itself is, like I said, a modern marvel, just like the whole musical is, just focusing on social media and the repercussions that follow. Yeah, it's just one of those things. The whole plot itself, and not to spoil anything, but if you've ever heard the adage, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive, that's the whole basis of Evan Hansen itself. The songs are outstanding. I listened to the soundtrack ad nauseum, so yeah, I had it memorized. I knew every song, I knew every lyric. I knew the plot extremely well. And of course, the song that always makes me cry is So Big, So Small, just because I think all of us can relate to it, even if we're not parents. And it's just about losing people. It's that whole subject of loss. And I think that's a taboo subject in many circles. People don't like discussing that, but it's something that happens to us all, even even though in Evan's case it was divorce. But a Loss can happen in different ways. PTSD can happen from different sources of trauma. I've lived through it. I don't have it anymore, but just saying, it can occur. Trust me, I've been there. I survived. What else can I say about it? Aronoff was just a beautiful theater. The way that they had the panels set up and the seamless motion of the scenery in and of itself. They didn't have any prop people. It was just absolutely marvelous. And if you have a chance to see it, do, because it's a musical that'll knock your socks off. It's one of those musicals that comes out from left field, and it really hits home because it speaks to so many of us. It hits that theme that we all relate to, wanting to belong, wanting to have a family or semblance of a family, or being understood, having our voices heard, not feeling like a silent minority. So many different themes are covered in this musical that are really putting their fingers on the pulse of what's wrong with technology today. And I just wish it could go back to the days before the internet. And I know this is going to make me sound old, but I miss that, because I talk to people. I enjoy conversation, and now people are more attached to their stupid phones, and it's ridiculous. But back in my day, no, I'm not going to go there because I'm going to lose most of you, but needless to say, not Chicago, Cincinnati is a really beautiful city. It's less congested than Chicago. Traffic is much easier to navigate. It was easier. I didn't have the same problem as I did when I went to see Hamilton. So it was a very marvelous, wonderful, terrific, tremendous experience that I highly recommend. If you can see it, go see it. It's not that expensive to see it. If you're going to get cheap tickets, get them in the balcony. You can see everything. And it's still wonderful. It's still a phenomenal show, and the casting is just unbelievable. They are just so talented, and as I said before, the soundtrack is a complete knockout, and every song on it is a hit, and it's a spectacular musical. And I forget how many Tonys. I think this won 6 Tonys. I did a little bit of research. I didn't really know about Dear Evan Hansen until 2016. That's when I heard about it. It actually was released in 2015. So yeah, this is a new musical. This hasn't been out that long, but by no means is it due to the fact that it's new doesn't mean that it's not going to get noticed, because believe me, there are plenty of things. Anybody can come to this. I think this is a musical that belongs to everybody, honestly, and it speaks to our modern times. It's a commentary, like I said, and it's very relatable. But beyond that, that's all I have to say about Dear Evan Hansen. Go see it. It is absolutely sensational. It is nothing short of magnificent, and I can't praise it enough. And it's just like, I was blown away. The whole mechanism of the theater, the stage was just, I thought the magic of that was just, it was awesome. It truly was. It was so righteous in the way that they were moving the panels in and of themselves. And I thought, how are they doing that? What kind of mechanism are they using? Of course, this goes through my head. I'm always thinking that way, but that had to take so long for them to figure out where they were going to go on the stage themselves, not hitting the panels or each other in the choreography. So this was just really, really astounding. And of course, the lighting, the way it was done, the projections on the panels when they were depicting social media, it blew my mind. It really did. It knocked my socks off. And I'm hard to impress. I was impressed. I was extremely impressed. It's one of the best musicals I've seen since Hamilton. So go see it. It's incredible. That's all I have to say. Until next time, live long and prosper. Ciao tutti.